Okay. So, but before we start, before I jump into all that, please, there's a chance I've not decided yet. I've not decided yet, but there's a chance that if you did not do the task for last week, I mean the animation, though I may have to tell you to excuse us because yeah, I may just have to do that. But let me see first if but yeah, it's been a beautiful week and there's been a lot of things going on and happening, and again, I'm excited to be here again. So let's see where we'll start from. So we're starting from we're starting from Tobiloba. So yeah, let me share my screen so that's all right. So yeah, moving in. Thank you guys for doing this task, and it's been an amazing time with you guys. But before I even continue, please, how many people watched this video? If you didn't watch it, please can you let me know? Don't worry, there's no repercussion for it. I'm not
I watched it, sir.
Okay.
I also watched it.
Okay. All right. Tommy, how are you? All right, that's fine. Okay, so
Okay,
I think that
I've not actually watched it. I'm still trying to set up. My system is giving me a whole lot of problem. I've tried Maya, I've tried 3D. It's a 4D rather. It's giving me a heck of issues
okay.
with my graphics card.
Yeah. So that would definitely give you issues actually. If your graphic card is not strong enough to run the software, there are gonna be issues. So
Okay, it's not actually about being strong enough. It's Radeon. It's AMD Radeon. It's
so
1 gig, and it just doesn't see it. But if I uninstall my driver, it will start working.
So try to go once that happens to software around you. The first thing you will do is to update the software of your driver. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, I have done that. It's using the latest driver, and it still doesn't work unless I uninstall the driver entirely before it starts seeing it.
Okay, that's strange. Another thing is this software. I mean, how old is your computer, and how old is the Radeon on it? Because most of this software, they um they make them compatible with some kind of GPUs, right? So if your GPU is very, very old, you will not be able to run it. So for example, if they say you should run it on a GTX 1060 and above, then maybe Radeon, whatever, and above. If your GTX falls below 1060 or your Radeon driver, right, falls below the specified version, there's going to be an issue. It's either the software will open and some things will not load, or it won't even open at all, or probably it keeps crashing. Something will just happen. So that's what we need to know: what version of Radeon and what version of. So that's the issue there. All right.
So sorry, sir. If I may say a
Okay.
few things about his problem.
Okay.
I
That's
know I have people that use Maya 2020 on systems that don't even have a GPU. It has an integrated CPU. So it's just as low as an i3, that low in fact, and they use Maya 2020. So I don't really know. You know what? Whoever said that, please just message me. Let me see if I can help you, because
Okay.
I've helped a lot of persons install, especially Maya, on a
Okay.
system without GPU, and it works just fine. So
Probably I have to try Maya. But I mean, my own works without the GPU if I uninstall the driver. But I think I've tried. I've actually I'm good with system updates and stuff like that. But
mhm.
this one is actually babbing me. All right. So, but let's continue with the class. I'll still fix it.
Yes, let's see privately. Let's see. Thank you.
All right. That's just fine. Okay. I'm gonna try to be very, very fast with this class. Okay. So okay. So we have Tobiloba. Tobiloba. Um, Tobiloba, are you here? Is she here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Good morning. So
Yeah.
from Tobi's animation, I don't know why it's not playing on my laptop, but it was playing on my phone earlier.
That's the picture. The animation is beneath.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So yeah, this is Toby's animation, and yeah, so she followed some processes, but we're going to break it down. The first thing is um, our anchor points are having issues, right? That's the anchor point. So our gear is not rotating perfectly around this center, around this axis, right? So that's one issue. And then the other one is that I don't know if it's me though, but it's kind of slow. I don't know, Toby. What do you think?
Yes, sir, it is. I think it's because I turned it to a GIF. I don't know. Should I send the one that is just the 3 seconds video? Because it's faster than this actually. Yes, it's slow.
Okay, yeah, you can. So I think when what did you use to convert to a GIF?
Jiffy maker.
Okay, so all those software sometimes the Giphy maker, whatever, they don't have advanced settings whereby you can set up the frame rate of your GIF. So the frame rate of your GIF has been reduced, right? It has been
Yes,
reduced, and
sir.
we have so we have it making your animation drag. So that's number one issue. So you can look into um maybe Adobe Media Encoder. You can look into Handbrake of Format Factory, right? These are the software I use to convert from something to GIF. You understand? And I will still be able
Yeah.
to manipulate my frame rate. But yeah, this looks good. But what's happening to the two other components on top? You only animated the thing I showed you as sample last week.
I animated these spheres or those atom balls, but as you said, because it's slow, it's not showing.
Oh,
Let
okay, I
me
can
send
see them. They are just moving. Okay, I can see them.
it up
Okay,
and
this
down.
it's good. It's good. I think. Okay, what exactly? So just come out to me straight, right? What exactly did you grab? Because we are actually at the end of this first mini project, right? That's why I'm like, okay, probably at the end of this class, I will have to tell some people to excuse me because I don't think I'm here to joke. So people that are not doing anything or that have not done anything, I may have to just tell them to excuse us so that we'll know who are the serious ones, right? Because a lot of people like to take things for granted. So I'm just saying that at the end of this mini project, what did you learn? And I would love the feedback to see whether there has been progress or maybe I've just been teaching you what you already know. Yeah.
Okay, so I learned a lot because before this I didn't know anything about 3D. In fact, the first task I couldn't do it. I messaged you so many times because I had system issues and all of that. And even when I finally tried to start, everything looked too confusing. Like, what are all these buttons? What is everything going on here? So it's actually much better now because all these things I didn't even take a lot of time to do it. As soon as I watched the video, I understood perfectly how you did those things. And yes, I noticed that my gear wasn't rotating at the center. I tried it like 6 times. I was moving the axis point and all of that, but I felt like at least I was doing something and I'll ask you in class what I did wrong concerning the gear. But every other thing, as soon as I watched the video, I understood it properly. I did it once, every other thing, and I'm actually really learning a lot right now, so I'm excited.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I'm as excited as you too. All right.
Thank
Uh,
you.
thank you, Tobilova. I think I can practically feel the excitement in your voice. So, yeah, before I think the end of this class, though, of this particular mini project, I'm going to touch on refining your animations, right? Talking about easy ease and perfect looping, right? Because if you check well, your animation is starting and then you discover that it's slowing down, right? And
Yes.
then it starts again and then it slows down. So there are some points when if you are planning on preparing a loop, right, and you want it to be seamless to play forever, right, you just need to make it a linear motion instead of a spline. I will explain all those things I'm saying to you guys. I will explain that and also review. That's for today's class. We'll also review the video we watched, right? We'll review the video we watched and probably I'll just touch on one or two things and explain using real life things to explain. I know you watched the video, but yeah. Thank you very much, Toby. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Toby Loba, thank you. All right. The next person is Isaac. Isaac, how are you? Are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there.
Isaac,
Good
I didn't
morning.
see you last week. I didn't see you last week. What happened?
I was there last week. I was in the class.
Eh,
Uh,
okay.
you asked me, even asked me a question last week.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Good one. So yeah, Isaac, nice work, right? I like your camera angle. The fact that, or should I say, yeah, I kind of like your camera angle. It's not front facing per se. But the first question is what's happening with the atom graph up there? What's going on there? I don't
Okay,
seem to understand. Right?
okay. So
I think. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
the issue is right. And in fact, if you is actually, I'm actually embarrassed to say this, but I'm still trying to understand, the keyframing and how it works in Cinema 4D. Unlike After Effects, now if we are animating After Effects, you can easily delete the keyframes, from the ballpoint and redo it. But I was trying to look for where to delete the keyframes that were done
Hmm.
and then redo it, and I could not just find it. So and then I was trying to redo the whole animation again to even make it smooth. I was battling it. And when I tried checking YouTube, actually applying it the way it was on YouTube to this actual project was a problem for me. So that was why I just that was where I hand I mean is it hung now and I could not just move.
Okay. No worry. There's no need to be embarrassed. It's in fact it's fine that we are going through all these processes to see that uh this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. So there's no need to be embarrassed. In fact, I'm happy. I'm happy that um we are facing all these issues. So it shows that we're actually doing the work, right? So um I would touch on that. But please, this class, this particular one, I'll need everyone to take attention to be attentive, right? Because there are some intricate things I might just touch on the go, In fact, I may not dive into it deeply. If you check I'm very sure if you check the last video, there was a point in which I selected and I was dragging keyframes. I probably might have been able to get a cue from it that, oh, you can select a keyframe and delete, but don't worry, we'll sort that out, right? And then we only have, I don't even know how many components are moving. Should I say 2.5 or 2? But we only have, okay, so the gear, I like how your gear is rotating. It's rotating around this axis, but the problem is, it's not a perfect loop. We know when your animation is starting and we know when it's ending, right? But I wanted you to have a perfect loop. So, but this is good. But now let's ask ourselves, right? Can you use this for a project, a UI UX project?
No, not yet.
Exactly. So if you cannot use something for a project, right? I'm just saying it. I'm not saying you should do something assignment. So if you cannot use something for a project, no need giving your clients for review that client, see what I've done, I've modeled, I've moved the character, what do you think about it? If you cannot use it for a project, or if your friends cannot give you a good feedback, don't give a client. This is just a side tip, right? This is just a side tip. But nice one, man. Well done. Well done. Did you the cylinders and the cylinders, yeah, are they in the same group? Because they're
Yes.
moving.
Yes.
Okay. So what I mean the same group, did you connect them, or are they under the same null and you're moving the null?
Yes, that was what I did. Was it Alt G now that I did for all
Oh,
of them, and then I just moved. I was trying to also okay. Let me just stop there. That was
no,
what I
say
did.
it. You see, your
Yeah,
problem is somebody else's question. Do you understand?
yeah. I was trying to do the animation that the first person did, was it Tobiloba, to animate each and every one of them, each of the cylinders rather, one by one. So I think now that you now mention it, and I realized why when I
Okay,
was
why
trying
you
to do
did it? Oh,
everything was moving together. Yes.
all right. That's fine. Okay. So nice one. Nice one. Let me just bring it up right here. It will be true.
Thank you.
Okay. Priska, are you here? I don't think she's here. I don't think she's here. But I like her work, right? But just actually submitted it before, but it's good. I like her work. I like the fact that these guys have some kind of movements, like they arrange themselves together. I like that. Like they were scattered before and then they came together to form. Like I really like it. It gave one kind of visual effect that I like. And then but she didn't change this. She didn't change this. So all our components are moving individually, and it's good. So well done. Well done. Let me just. But why can't I? Okay, please go ahead. All right. So Steven, yeah, this is Steven's work right here. So Steven, all right. I have some things to say about Steven's work. So can we? Can we? There's no repeats. Okay. So Steven, I want us to ask ourselves a question. Is this how our is this how your watch moves?
No, it's not. It's not how the arms of the clock tick. I just wanted to do something different. Since I didn't model the second arm, so I just wanted to model them at different speeds. So it's not like I wanted to mirror reality per se. That's why I did like that.
actually it's fine. I like the fact that you are being creative about it, but it is distracting. And why did I say that? Every other thing are moving smoothly. The only reason you should do that is if you want to lay emphasis on this guy. If you want to lay emphasis on the clock hand, that's when you give it some maybe different movement or something that brings the eye to that object, right? If the object you are staging is this clock right here, that's when you can do that. But in this animation, we are staging the entire object. So they should have, if not the same kind of movement, almost the same. Their movement should be as smooth as anything so that you look at it as a whole. So if I play this thing again, right? If I play this thing again, somebody sent a message. Let me see. I can't find my WebEx. Okay, let me continue. So if I play this thing again, you discover that the first place your eye goes to is this point, right? Which is not making us see any other animation or animated part for the first 2 seconds. So, and that is absolutely not nice. And then this guy is in the shadows, right? That last guy is in the shadows. And then these guys are not moving. Why? Those guys should move. So that's why I said to animate every part of it, right? To animate every part of it. So yeah, but that's it. But nice work. Really, really nice work. Yeah. So then Tommy here.
Yes, I am.
Why are you smiling? You know I'm coming for you, Ari. You know I'm coming for you.
Yes.
Okay. First, I would say that maybe you are giving me this screen recording because your computer cannot take screen recording and cannot render out, right?
Yes, and I actually could not even use my laptop. I had to use someone's laptop. So it was a rush process. In fact, the file I had sent to use on the person's laptop was not even compatible. So I had to quickly model it again and then had to just
Because I was about to ask you that this is not the model you sent me last week. Oh. This one that is here is not
long
what you sent
story.
me. Then you're now playing the sound at the back.
Sorry.
That's it. But yeah, I think I get the idea. How I wish I had come out, but I get the idea. But your atom and your why is your hand dancing like this? What's this? Are you seeing it? Am I
Yeah,
the only one seeing it? Show me.
I know. It's
Ah,
bad.
okay. So you know what to do. I don't think I have to explain to you what to do.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, and then the atom too. Let them know. I like the fact that this is new, but somebody did something remarkable that I like. Right. So yeah, that's it. That's about that. So Tommy, please, let's not slack. Let's not slack. Because we're on Slack, we can't slack. Pun intended.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Abisola Okunlola. Abisola, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So Bisola did I like what Bisola did. How I wish she looked it. Bisola, why didn't you put it in GIF? You should have looked it. It's too short. See,
Sorry.
should have looked it. But this is good. But only that we have some components misbehaving. For example, your yellow was entering where it wasn't supposed to enter. See this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one issue. And then your gear was almost falling off its rotational axis. See, we are rotating it. If you check on, you're rotating it round and round. You see, it has
Yes.
changed. Yeah, perspective. It has changed
Okay.
perspective. Then But yeah, then I like how you animated your arrows. At least they're moving back and forth. They're moving back and forth. But guess what? There's something we call, or let me say, there's something I call um characteristical animation or animating. So what is the characteristic of every component in your animation? Number one, the characteristic of these guys is that they point forward, right? They
Yeah.
point forward. So there shouldn't be any point in your animation whereby they go back. They do Michael Jackson, right? And walk to the back. So for example, yours now is doing that. See, they go forward and they go backward. I know you're trying to do, okay, this thing keeps going forward. So there are a lot of ways you can make them keep going forward. Probably they can go forward and disappear, and they appear again and keep going forward and appearing, right? You can keep
Okay.
doing that. They can go forward and enter the screen, right?
Okay.
And but just to make them keep going forward, I prefer it than go forward and come backward. Go forward and come, because there are arrows that are pointing forward, right? If they are bi-directional arrows like forward and backward, you can always do that, right? So, and yeah, I think that's what I have to say concerning yours. I like the way you make the atom big and small, big and small, big and small, but your clock hand isn't moving. What's going on here? Is it a boomerang?
No, it's
Hmm?
not.
You look like a boomerang, but it's not even moving. Or maybe should I say broken leg of a table?
Oh
Just
boy.
back. So please, let's pay attention to this detail. Let's pay attention to this detail. And then the light here is too much. The white light by this part of the screen. You have one light here. It's too much.
Okay.
It's too much.
All right.
The light here is
Thank
too
you.
much. You're welcome. You're welcome. So welcome. All right, let's move to the next person. Mayawa, yes, this is the work I really love. Mayawa, are you here?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yes, 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 yes. I like this. I like this. And Mayawa did something really remarkable. He moved everything. Are you guys not happy with the forward
I'm
movement
here,
of the
sir.
arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Are you not happy with the forward movement of the arrows, the gear system, you know, moving circumspectly? Everything is happy on Mayawa's work. So but the only thing is, who just joined below? The only thing is our cylinders, I would have preferred them to move like differently, like up down, 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 right? But this is really good.
Okay, sir.
Basically, the arrows on that, and even your clock. I like the fact that they are not shifting; they are moving. I mean, your clock hands, they are moving so well. I like that. They are moving. They are moving the way they should move. You know, the long hand is always faster than the short hand, and it always meets it at the middle. I really like what you did. So if you check, well, Mayawa, once you convert this your work to what's it called, to a GIF, you can actually use it for your animation project. That's the truth. You can use it. Another thing is, I don't know why you didn't put reflections on the materials, just as I've shown you in the last example. Question is, this render, doesn't it look good to you? That's the question. This render I sent. So imagine this render with your animation, right? It should have gone a really long way.
Yes, I'm still going to work on that.
Let's do that. And then this is 10 a.m. today, Abby. This is 10 a.m. today. Am I right? Mayawa, in fact, I'm not supposed
Sir?
to mark your work. This is 4 a.m. today. Oh. Am I right?
No.
Okay, yesterday.
It's on Thursday.
I've seen it. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is 10 a.m. yesterday. Okay. In fact, this person, the only way I will know that this is not my render is because of the lighting. This person made accurate copy, but not accurate, but very, very close to what I rendered. And hi, Rat, are you here?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning. This is a very nice one. Well done. I can understand what's going on. Your system cannot carry the render. But you only rendered out the gear now. Why? You only
Actually, I don't
animated
really
the gear.
know how to like animate different objects at the same time. I'm still yet to understand that aspect of 3D, like how to rotate the gear and also make the balls roll at the same time. I don't know. I'm not gotten
Okay.
that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing to know about that is that all your objects are separate objects. Once you can realize that, when you can see that, you'll be able to animate 1 million objects at the, and they'll be able to move at the same time. Because all those objects have their different timelines. Right? They have their different timelines. So nice work.
Thank you, sir.
Amarachi texted me that she won't be able to come for today's class. She had some personal stuff to do. But Amarachi's hand, clock hand, I don't know where it is, whether it's at the middle. I know she's going to watch this video. Amarachi, I'm talking to you now. Whether your hand is at the middle or I don't know. Something is just happening to the clock hand. Just imagine that this is how they designed your wristwatches and your wall clocks in your houses. Would we be able to know time? No. So I don't even understand. Let me play it first. She wouldn't have been able to even what's it called, animate the clock hand because it's not even anyway. Just but Amarachi, your clock hand and your cylinders and your thumbs should be animated well. But every other thing I think is rolling well. Okay. The next is please can you mute please? Mary God servants.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
So I
This is 10 p.m. I'm not seeing this. I'm not even looking at it. No. I'm not even looking at it. Um I'm not even looking at it. Oh hmm. So um okay, Korede, are you here? Ishala Korede. Ah, okay. Okay. I think to an extent I like what Korede did. Korede did from nothing to something. Like from zero to something. Everything started popping out. Are you here, Korede? Okay. Uh, then, but I thought I told Corey last week to remove this white plane at the back.
Again, man.
You said? Corey, are you talking to me? Are you here? I think, uh, okay. Dada Taiwo, yeah. Dada Taiwo, I think. No. Okay. You can't rotate a gear like that, right? In a moving system, right? The gear has to rotate along the x-axis and not the y-axis. It has to rotate along the y-axis, I mean, and not the z-axis. This is z-axis rotation, and it's not giving us the effect we should have. Then I have a lot of things to say to this, but we can do better actually. We can do better. We can actually do better.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
I'm having issues with I tried Cinema 4D first, but I'm having issues with it. I'm more familiar with Blender. But the issue I'm having with Blender is to render. It's not giving me the camera. Once I try to render, only a part of the image is rendered. Then the other part it doesn't show. Yes, only the circle part. Anytime I try to render, the camera only captures that circle part. Every other part is scattered.
Oh
I don't
Lord.
know.
Okay. We probably you may need to share your screen. I need to know what you're saying. Are you on your screen now?
No, I'm not on laptop now.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so please you can mute yourself now. Thank you. So Rebecca Adesai is not here. Dorcas is not Favor is not here. A lot of people didn't come in today. What's going on? No problem. I'm going to take action.
So we have not replied my issue. So I mistakenly undock and I didn't know how to dock back.
Okay. Probably you should have just refreshed your workspace. It should have worked.
I did, but it was until I shut down my laptop and we started it this morning that it came back. Even when I restarted Cinema 4D, it was still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would so you see these layouts?
Okay.
So that's where we have all these layouts, standards, blah 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 blah. And you still wait, is it the old version you are using or what?
No, I'm using R26.
You are even using 26. Me, I'm still on 25. Same you. Okay, but it's actually the same thing,
Yes.
nothing serious. Okay. Okay. Let me just open wait, who was telling me about a screen now? Sorry, I'm mixing everybody's names in my head. Wait, have I checked Abisola's on? Yes. Abisola? Okay, yes, I have. Don't worry.
Okay.
Mary God servant, yes. What did you say happened again? Let me go see it.
I'll undock my view and I could not get it back.
Are you still having the same issue now?
No, it is back now. I fixed it.
Okay. So next time you'd go to window, right? To add, so for example, window, right? And you come to your where is it? Coming where are you? looking for it. New panel.
Okay.
Once you click it, that is it.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So I can decide to have two works together. Pick this guy. I try to pick this guy and drop him probably beside and dock him, I mean, probably beside this guy. Right. So I have maybe if I have an object in between, I can decide to make this one right to show me all the views, right? While I'm working on my perspective view here, right? I can decide to do all this. So as I'm working, this guy is giving me updates. I decide to
Yeah.
I decide to I think undock this one. Who is that? Oh, please. So okay, so I can decide to do that. So that's what you do. Your window once it's lost. Yeah. So you have all your windows here.
Thank you.
Imagine you close your material editor. You can always come to material editor, and it will pop out. So if you have a very large screen, like me, you can put this one on screen too, right? I'll put it on screen
Yeah.
too. Keep working your work, But I'm even glad you encountered that issue so that other people will learn from that. Okay, let's open our recent project.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this is my camera mode view, and this is my, let me even do it this way. This is my movement view. Let me make this, let me bring this so right, and then okay. All right, so this is my animation window right here, down here. Right, exactly. So okay, let me just so the thing I wanted to explain, I said I was going to explain your timeline. Number one, the first problem that somebody had, he said it could not render different objects, or I mean. So the very first thing to know is that all these objects are separate objects right here, and they can be animated. Who's Gabriel? In fact, let me check the people in the meeting. I don't think I'll take some things from some people. Where is the meeting? Let me see. Where's my WebEx? I don't know why I can't. Okay. It's not showing. Okay, let me do something. Let me use my phone because I don't think I will. I will have some people do this. Okay. All right. While my phone is loading that up, let me continue so we won't waste time. Okay. So the first thing that we would have to know, like I said, is that your objects are different objects, right? And they can be animated in different ways. You can even animate your lights, right? And I pointed out last week that you see all these things in front of your attributes, all this little icon right here, right? Can be animated. That icon can be animated. So if you probably move and your objects, if you probably move, for example, let me do light. So see this light color, right? For example, maybe here it's yellow. So I can click it to add a keyframe for the light. I've selected the light, added a keyframe. I can try to come here, right? Frame 70, and make my light color blue. And once I change it to blue, the next thing I should do is to keyframe it. So between 1 And you see what's happening. Just look at this part of your screen, please. You see that as I'm dragging, right, the light is changing from yellow, right, to blue, right? So we have some drama from yellow to blue. The light is changing. So that makes you know that. And if you check well, check this part of the screen. Check this what's it called? This highlight on this object. You notice that it is changing. See, the light is changing, and it has changed directly to what? To blue, the blue that we want, right? So if I render this guy, I think I should close this view. I don't want. So if I render this guy at frame 70, I would have my blue lights. I don't know why my phone cannot join these meetings this morning. Okay, am I rendering something? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to. All right. So I have this blue highlight right here. If you check well, right? That's the blue light I changed to. And the same thing, if I drag my timeline back, it's going to give me the yellow color I have, right? It's going to give me the yellow color I have. So moving forward to the okay, to the animation now, right? We call it the F curve. Let me remove this animation. I don't want it. Okay, yes, another way to select animations. Who asked this question? I think it's sorry, I think I know the person. It's Ewe Demi, if I'm right. Ewe Demi Isaac, yeah. So Isaac, um, you can so how to select and delete keyframes. So for example, I want to delete the keyframing on the light, right? And I'm not seeing it here. The first thing to do is to select on my light and come here. You see, it has a keyframe on P70. Select it and delete. That's all. That's all. I've deleted it. So it doesn't have a keyframe. Oh, sorry, I deleted my lights. No, I didn't delete the lights. Yeah. Once I select it, right, it shows me here that, oh, I have a keyframe, right? And this is what is about the keyframe. And then I can delete it. A simple tip, right, is that anything that is selected, anything that is displayed here, any object in which is attribute is displayed here is the object that you can manipulate at the moment. Probably is the one you can delete, you can move around, you can expand, whatever. So you should be careful about deleting object. Also, if I over here, like I didn't click O, probably I click this and then I hover around here. If I click delete, it will delete my light because I'm in the window of the light. So I will need to be in this window to delete the keyframe. Are you seeing that the light is still there? But if it doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, probably again, the tip again is I want to delete the keyframe on this light because sometimes I've made that mistake over and over again. So I would have to click on the keyframe, and while in the window of the in the animation window, I can click delete. Right? It will delete the keyframe. I won't see anything here again. But on the other hand, if I've selected this keyframe and I take my hand back here without even clicking, because I am on this window, right? I'm going to delete the light and I click delete. The light and the keyframe will go, right? And same case here. If I over here, I'm going to delete the light and the keyframe. So don't make that mistake next time. So you can just delete this and we'll go. So yeah. So the next is so I didn't show I did not do what I wanted to do today on this animation, right? I always love to do what it is I need to do in front of everybody, right? So that you guys will get the whole idea. So I want to make this guy right? You want to make this guy first rotates around his axis, right? So we must remember what I did last week. Make sure that the axis is right in between. So if I zoom in well, you see that there's a problem. So the person that had an axis rotating somewhere else, right? If you check well, I think the person is Tobiloba. Tobiloba had this issue, right? So you can zoom in, press L, or see this. This was deactivated. This axis tool. It's called the enable axis. So we can select our what did I animate? So to know what I animated,
I zoomed it in. Like that's why I said I tried it like I zoomed and moved, enabled my axis and moved it there, but it was still, I don't know. I was now thinking maybe I did something wrong when I was modeling the objects because I zoomed it in.
okay. So I think I know where the issue is. Did you use a subdivision surface?
Yes, I did.
So good. So check something, see something. Once I selected, don't mind this computer. I want to start again, Harry. Once I selected the cylinder, you see that it falls pretty at the middle, like right at the middle, right, of my cylinder, of my entire object. You check well, it's at the middle. Now, if I select my subdivision surface, which is the parent of the cylinder, you see where the middle is? Because this is where the subdivision surface actually is, right? And if you move your L for your subdivision surface, right, probably you move the middle center back here, there's going to be an issue. It will always go back to where it is. So there are like two ways I do this thing. Number one way is that I convert this to what's it called? I convert it to an editable object so that I'll be able to move this and manipulate it the way I want. And then once that is done, I'm going to have something like this, right? It's now one object. So division surface doesn't have its icon anymore. It's now like a null object, right? And then I can move this guy like so in the middle, right? That's one way to do it. But I don't like to do that because I like to preserve my procedural workflow. I don't want to keep this guy there. So another way to do it that I do it normally is that I remove this from being a child first, right? So these guys are separate. And I bring the subdivision surface as a child with the cylinder, right? It's temporal. So it's now a child to the cylinder. So what I do is so this cylinder, right, which is a gear system. Let me rename it gear so that we will not. So the gear system has its axis at the middle, but our guy has the axis here. So how do we bring this axis, right, to this place? So because this object is like an invincible object, right? The first thing I will do is Shift C. Shift C is like our search command. Semaphore has a lot of commands. If you don't know, a lot of commands. So they cannot put all the commands on the interface. So you search the command here. So I'll search for, if it's the old version of Semaphore, I used to use PSR, but they removed it. PSR means position, scale, and rotation. That means I want to reset the position, the scale, and rotation. That's what I want to do, right? And in resetting it, in doing that, it brings the axis to the center of the parent. That's why I'm making this the parent. So, but because the function is not called PSR again, so it's called transformation reset, which is where are you? Hold on. Reset transform. This guy called reset transform. So I can just dock it here. Let me just dock it here. So this is the button. Please pay attention, guys. I want to do something that you guys will need to know. Nobody told me this thing until I discovered it about after 6 years of using Cinema 4D. After 6 years, like way after, I had to find out the hard way, and I've been doing things the hard way. So please. So yeah. So reset transform. Because I know that I'm going to be using, see, we're going to be using this thing more than anything. So the next thing to do is, you know what? I want to save this in my layout so that it will always be docked here, right? So I'll come to add layout and do save layout as, right? Or in fact, I prefer it to be my startup layout. Save as startup layout. So once I do save as startup layout, it has a new layout called start user. So when I close Cinema 4D and open it, this button will always be here, right? If I want to go back to standard, if I go back to standard, you see that the button is out. But if I come back to startup user, it's here, right? Another thing you can do, like I said, is save layout as, right? I'll save it as my layout, right? And it's going to be saved inside your Cinema 4D library, such that if you have Cinema 4D on another computer, or maybe Cinema 4D R26, and maybe you've saved a lot of things on your layout, maybe you have about 6 to 7 buttons. I still have some other things I want to save, right? 6 to 7 buttons, and I've been able to bring them out from the Shift C. Shift C is the search for Cinema 4D, and I've been able to put them here. Then I can use this layout on other versions of Cinema 4D. So you see the layout is called my layout, right? My layout. So I can now use this my layout, right, as my startup layout. So when I open Cinema 4D, right, let me save this first. So I close Cinema 4D now. You know, when I open Cinema 4D, it will always come in as my default startup layer and my default startup layout. It's very, very important to know these guys. So you see, my tool is there, right? So if you want to get that thing, again, the shortcut to press is Shift C. You are searching for what command you want to use, right? And another command I would like to use is to rotate along camera. So I have this where is it? Where is it? And I will explain that to you. Okay, since I can't find it because I know what I'm looking for, I'll search mode because it's like camera mode. Good. So we have camera mode, center mode, cursor mode. So camera mode is that you're telling your camera to move as if you're moving a camera. Then center mode, you're telling your camera to focus on the center of the screen and move. And then object mode, you're telling your camera to focus on your object to move. And I'll explain all that. So let me first drag this out first. So we have camera mode, 1, center mode, 2, cursor mode, 3. But I think there's a bug with this Cinema 4D because it's not showing me icons. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not showing me icons. So let me show you what I just did. So if I have an object, I'm still going back to the animation I'm doing, just a digression. If I click on the first mode, I think this is my camera mode now, right? It says navigate around active camera point. If I click camera mode and I rotate, you see what's going on? So it's looking around, like it's looking as if, okay, you have your camera and you're looking around the object. It's not moving around the object, right? If I come back here and say center mode, if I click center mode and I move, see, it is focused on this plus. You see a plus here when I move. It's focused on the plus, right? And it's showing that, okay, it's focused on the center of the screen, even if my object is there, right? it is focused on the center of the screen and not the object, right? And all these modes have their uses. And then the third one, right, is the object mode. So my object is there, which is this guy, right? Okay, this is cursor mode. Okay, sorry, there's still one more. I've not added it. So the cursor mode will move according to these cursors, these three cursors here. So if I do rotate, see, it's moving according to cursor. If I do zoom in and zoom out, according to cursor. If I pan, according to cursor, right? But most times the cursor mode and the object and the center mode behave alike, but they are not the same. So let me add the last one, which is the object mode. So this is the object mode right here, and I add the object mode. So I think this is the object mode here. Yeah. So once I click object mode, right? You see, I didn't select the cube, and I tried to click to drag. It will not. It will still be facing center mode until I click the object and I rotate. You see what it's doing? It's looking for the object. It's trying to rotate around the object. Where is my object? Where is my object? So I can't find my object. I press S. So yeah, this is it here. So it's rotating around my object now. Even if I have another cube, and maybe this cube is somewhere there. This one is here. See, it's rotating around this object, right? And not that one. So if I click this other one and I rotate, you see what it did? It started rotating around that object. So these are what all these modes are for. And I'll rather save as my startup layout. Or let me say save layout as my layout. And I save. And then probably I'll just save it as startup layout. All right. So moving on. Let's open our animation. So that's the tip for that. So yes, let's go back to what we were doing before, right? So the gear system and the what's it called? The gear system and the subdivision layer. So I've selected my gear system. See, it has even moved the gear system down. I don't know why it did that. Let's bring it back up. Zoom in to make sure. Okay, I think that's it. So yeah, that's it. All right. So the next thing to do is to have my subdivision layer. See, where is it? See where it is. Though it's invincible, but this is where the axis, right, has gone to. So what I just need to do is to select my subdivision and click on this button, because now I've made the subdivision the child of the gear. I click on this, pam, and then it snaps the entire subdivision axis to the center of the gear. See, once I select, you won't even notice any difference. So the next thing is to remove this as a child of the gear, right? And then bring the gear back as a child of what? The subdivision. Such that once we begin to rotate, it rotates perfectly around that axis. Are you seeing it? That's what happens. So I'm just taking you through one of my tips for quantizing my axis. All right, so let's move to the next thing, the rotation. So for frame 1, is it frame 90? Okay, so yeah, so it's the subdivision surface that I animated, and we have a problem. See, it has shifted again. Why do you think it shifted? It shifted because we already have recorded keyframes of the animation. So I may need to delete this keyframe, right? And I need to delete that keyframe. And this other keyframe too. so that we'll start afresh. So let me do what I did again. Bring this guy out, make this guy the child of this, and make the transform like that, and then replace the child and parenting also. And then we can now have our rotation. So the first rotation is 0°, right? On the I think it's heading on the yes, on the bend, right? So let's go add the keyframe. We can add it here, right? And then let's go to the last frame. What is going on? Okay, I think there's an issue here. Excuse me. Oh, no, no, no. Today's not the day to start crashing. What's going on? Apologies, guys. Jesus. Time has gone. Time has gone. I need to touch what I need to touch. Can't find some apology here. I'm trying to close this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's open it again. All right. So let me have that opened. So you notice that my layout is back again, right? So all right. So let's delete the keyframe on this, the keyframe here. Then let's make this guy out of this. Okay, I think this gear has a keyframe. Yeah, it does. We have to delete its keyframe too. So it's going to give us ASOS. All right. Then, all right. So we have, yeah, exactly. That's what happened. So we have to return this guy back to its position right there. Okay, so hey, what's going on? Okay, funny enough, my graphic drivers are up to date. I don't know why it's crashing. I don't know. And I have to check some other things after the class, but I apologize for this crash. Even though this I'm not even in the mood for crashing. It's okay. All right, let's try this again. Try it again. All right. Okay. So, all right. So let's animate. Oh my God, this thing is here again. Okay. Maybe this transform. Yeah. Bring this out like so, and now let's animate this guy. So on the rotational axis, we have the first is I think I should return this back to 0. Yeah. And then we keyframe it on that first frame. And then on the last frame, we do a 360. Because that's what we want, 360. Right? I will keyframe it. So Exactly. So we have a perfect rotation, right? But now it's slowing down. So this is where I want to touch, and everybody must understand. So there's what we call easy ease, right? We have, what can I draw? Okay, is there a whiteboard? Let me just annotate. So in animation, right? In animation, we have how do I put it now? Graphs, right? So if your graph is like this, linear, right? That means your animation is not going to slow down, right? That means it's just going to start at a point and then keep going. There's no point at which it slows down. There's no point of anticipation. There's no point, and yeah, sometimes we need some animations like that. If your graph is this way, right? That means at this point, your animation slows down a bit and takes momentum and then tries to slow down back. We also have the S-spline like this too. We have different kind of splines for animation. So that means this is slow and then takes fast, right? And we use these splines to determine the speed of animations and to determine anticipation, to determine effects like visual effects and how objects will react on a normal day when they are acted upon. So let's move after this my whole story. So we pick our subdivision because we want it to loop. You notice that this gear starts fast and this gear starts slowly and ends slowly. But at the middle, it's rotating well. So what we want to do is we want to make the motion linear and consistent through. So we come here, right? And see, it says interpolation, spline. So I want it to be linear. Linear interpolation. Come back here. Also, I'll make a linear interpolation. This is like the shortest way to do it. And then once you keep play, you see what's going on? So it's not that it's slowing up and then slowing down. It's just continuous. There's nothing slowing it down. It's just continuous, right? And another way to get that window, let me show you the splines. What happens in the splines? Let me show you. So we'll come to window. Do in fact, instead of doing that, I'll come to animate. There should be animate here. I can't find animate. Let's come back to window. Where's animate? Where is my animate? Okay, then come to animate then.
Anyway,
And
okay.
do where are you? Looking for the F curve. If that is not there, I right click and you see, so you can right click to see all this linear blah 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 blah. So expand to full time. Is that it? No. Hold on, I'm looking for the window. Window objects in node material timeline. This is it. This is what I'm looking for. So we have timeline of dope sheets. We have timeline of F curve. So it's the F curve we're looking for, right? So this is it here. This is your F curve and this is your dope sheet. Dope sheet is almost the same thing. The dope sheet is where you have your keyframes touching each other, like all your keyframes. So these are your keyframes. So the person that says needs to edit his keyframes, this is how to get it, right? And this is your F curve.
Was looking for.
This is what you'll be looking for. Great. So this is how you can get it. So so you see that the dope sheet and F curve is just the curve that is different. For example, I want to take on my subdivision surface, right? So I'll come to my subdivision surface. I want to show you how you can get your F curve. Let me close it from your dope sheet, right? So, and you notice that it's rotation on the bend. This HPB means heading, pitch, and bend, right? Remember I said we have, let me give you this tip again. We have a lot of tips. Remember I said we have X, Y, and Z, right? As R, G, and B, right? And we have the same X, Y, and Z as HPB, as heading, pitch, and bend. So heading, pitch, and bend. Pitch is down to top, like you are pitching your head, you are looking up, like you are looking up. That's pitch, right? Heading is left to right, like you are tilting your head to the left and right, right? And bend is you are bending your head to the back and to the front. Do you understand? You are bending your head to the back and moving your head to the back and to the front. That's what it means. So on the bend, but we rotate that's the meaning of R, right? B. We are rotating on the bend, which is rotation, right? On the bend, rotation B. This guy right here. You see that I've been able to narrow down to the F curve. I've been able to narrow down. But I'm not showing you this as like the long journey, right? But if you want to go really short, just click on the timeline, right? Come to your window and click on timeline F curve, and to show you the F curve of that particular keyframe that is chosen, right? To show you the F curve. But okay, so now this is what our F curve does. So we're able to say it is linear, right? So if I change this to spline, right? No, let me leave it at linear. I come here, right? I see what's going on. So I can move it up and down. I can right click on this and let me make it a spline, and I can move it this way. So as I've moved it, right, you notice what happens to our animation when we play. You see what's going on? It has reversed because I've gone beyond the 0 point. So it's doing a like flip front, flip back. So I can decide to, you know what, we don't want that. Let me just make it my linear. So you see that it's linear, but the speed is not much. If you want to make the speed much, the more linear it is, right, the more the speed. For example, this is your graph. If your linear graph is like this, right, the speed won't be much because this is your 0 origin, and maybe this is your, for example, this is your X, this is your Y axis, this is your Y axis, this is your X axis, right? So this can be your, oh no, this annotation is very, let me draw it again. Okay, so this is our Y, this is our X. So our linear motion is not so steep. So we can have maybe 0 and this is maybe 2. This is 0 and this is maybe 5. Right? So you're telling me that your velocity is from 0 to 2 on the y-axis. But now watch something. What will happen if it's more steep, probably like this? You'll discover that the speed will increase because this time we've made it move more steep. If it's flat, like so, the speed, in fact, you don't even know. It won't even move. It won't move because there is no change in speed on the bend on the y-axis, right? So let's do that right now. So let me make this more steep. Bring this down, right? And then take this up. Notice what's going on. Are you seeing the speed? The speed has increased suddenly, and it's as if. So this is a very, very sweet way to increase speed. Instead of saying I want to add more frames or I want to make the frame shorter, right? Instead of making the frame shorter, you will do that. Let me open the F-con because I don't like how short it is. This is my F-con here. Good. So this is dope sheet F-curve, and this is a motion mode. Okay, that's another advanced stuff here. Okay, so right, So it's, let me undock this one to the right so that you guys will see it well. Good. Great. So the steeper it gets, the more the speed, right? The steeper it gets, the more the speed. Okay.
So I have a question if I can ask.
Okay. You can please ask me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, is it possible to copy the speed graph or the keyframe from of one object and paste it on another?
Yes, you can copy the linear the interpolation mode from one and put it on another. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay, all
you
right.
see that it's similar now. Yeah, it can be copied. Yeah. So look at something. Look at what I told you guys. See, on the x-axis, we have 0 to 2,400. On the on the y-axis, 0 to 2,400, right? On the x-axis is the timeline right there. So once I bring this down to 0, 0, 0, it will move. Are you seeing it? It will move a bit, but if I make this as straight as possible, this timeline will not move. So if I bring this down, it's gonna be like a reverse motion. I take this up, it's gonna be like normal motion, but now speed. So if I decide to right click and spline it up, in fact, let me step it up. Let me make this. So see this, I reduce this. What do you think will happen? The animation will only play for the first 30 frames. That's what, see? And it stops. And if I increase this up, the first 30 frames, but the speed will be so much and to stop, which is not so real. So let's bring it back to the end of our frame right here. And then I can decide to say, you know what, I want it to slow down, right? At the end of, come on, where's my spline? Okay, spline types. I can even decide to make a spline type and spline it up. I'm looking for my spline control. Yeah, that's it. So see what's going on. So it goes up and then reverses back. So there are like countless things you can do with this. Countless things, right? So please, let's have that in mind. Okay, so that's about the F curve and the interpolation. So that's the too much. Now, how do we loop it? Because you discover that it's not starting from beginning, right? So I think I've touched on that. Let me loop this other guy right here because this thing is too much. Let me use this split. Let me use this split. Facts. So let me bring this guy up. The entire thing. Don't stress me. Okay. So let's bring it up from on 0, right? And then let's bring it to about 1,000. And then it will be on 90. See that? Let me play. So guys, did you notice something? I did something now. So for this loop to be very efficient, and the last time frame in your fcom, right, must pass, and the last keyframe, I mean, which is this guy, must pass your last time frame. So the last keyframe is this guy. I put it on 95 so that the animation won't play completely and it keeps looping. But imagine I have it a bit short, maybe on 85, for example. See, the loop will not be perfect. And if you have it on 92, there's a chance that you may get some jagged animation. You see that it jagged and it's trying to start again, right? So instead of doing that, the secret to having a perfect loop, for example, rotation. Remember when I was looking at this thing, I made the first one start at 0, and that's the rotation. That's the rotation on the bend. I made it start at 0 and end on 360 degree because the full rotation of the circle is 360 degrees. So from 0 to 360 degrees is what I did. And then I'll bring the last 360, right? It can just be on frame 91 so that we have a perfect loop. In fact, it's still showing some problems. So I can bring it to about frame 95 so that it won't get to that part. In fact, it's still stopping. That speed is too much. Let me bring the speed down. Okay. Okay, snapping. We have an issue. And I'm going to fix that now. Good. Exactly. So it's fixed. So it's on frame 91, I think. Yeah, it's on frame 91. So it's not getting there visually because I've hidden the last frame on the 91st frame instead of on 90. So it's on 91. So that we have that perfect loop. It's still dragging. Let me do it there. So if that is giving an issue, right, another thing to do, right, is to make your rotation on this part. Make your last rotation. Let me go back to the dope sheet, right? You can make your last rotation not 360. Probably you can make it a 359 or 361. So where is the come here and my last frame? Okay, now it's writing me 490 something. Writing me 490 something because of where I dragged it to on my F code. See, 400, right? 490 something. So let's bring it back down to 360. Let me just come back here and do 360. 360, right? Exactly. So it's back down to 360. So once I play, okay, then I move this by 360 forward. My frame, sorry. I move my frame forward. That's the entire bent frame, this guy, and I drag it here to frame 91. So when I play, oh, still one more. Let me move to frame 92. Okay. Frame 93. Good. Let me try frame 94. I think that will be more perfect. 93 is the best. So on frame 93 is the best frame whereby this object will not jam, right? It will start perfectly. Exactly the point. So now moving to the next object or to the next thing. Please, do we understand this F curve and this curve system that I just explained? I think the person that should be asking is Toby Loba.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, do you understand the F curve thing I just explained now?
Yeah, to
I
an extent.
do, but I'll also watch it again so that I can familiarize myself with it.
Okay, so while you're watching it again, I'll do this short explanation before I go, right? So let me reset. My.
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Okay, what's the
Yeah,
question?
yeah. So I think I understood it a bit, but I'll still have to rewatch it again. But I want to ask that is it not possible to create the loop? Is it not possible to copy the keyframes of the animation and then duplicate it and reverse it? Is that possible?
Yes, it's
And
possible. So
okay.
so that means you want it to do play forward and backward, I mean.
Yes.
like as this gear is rolling forward, it should get to a point and play backward.
Yeah, and then so that way is more like
Is
it is
so
looping. I want to believe it will loop.
there are different kind of loops. That loop we are talking about is a boomerang loop. So it goes forward and backward. It's a bounce loop, like 1, 2, 1, 2. There are different ways you can do that. Number one way is you can mess with the F curve, which I'll do now. Right. Number two way is to expand this, what's it called, time frame to maybe 180. And the first 90, which is 3 seconds, you flip forward, and the last 90, you copy your frame and you insert it from frame 91 to 180 and flip it. That's another way to do it, right?
Okay.
But yeah, so for Tobiloba and every other person that doesn't understand or that didn't understand how I got to that side, so come to window, I'll open dope sheet. So your dope sheet shows you, and then let me undock this one so that we decide what we're doing. Let me undock it and put it right about here. And then let me make this guy that side. So your dope sheet shows you everything about your animation, right? So, and then we have your F curve. It shows you your F curve shows you your interpolation. So now in my dope sheet, which I've opened and is doing like something else. Okay, in my dope sheet, I have my object. Select my object, window, dope sheets. Right. Expand it down. All right, so I come to my rotation because that's what I want to rotate. Now I'm answering two questions at the same time. I'm answering your question, and then I'm also trying to make sure you guys understand how and why we're using the dope sheet. So we come to the F curve, right, of this particular rotation. So I have my F curve, and now I want it to loop in a boomerang way, like forward and backward, because what we only have here is an infinite loop forward, right? So what we need to do is to have an F curve in this shape. Right? Something like this. So that means we're going forward, oh, you got here, the boomerang back up, and then so let's have that. So we have the first thing is come to this middle. Let's add a, what's it called? Where's my a tangent? I want to add a tangent. Where are you? Fine. That's my spline right there. Okay, so once I click play, see what happens. But this is too much, right? The speed is too much. So I can bring this down. But starting speed here is too much. Okay? And then let's go to the last part of our animation. Yeah, so this guy. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. And speed is too much. Okay. So I see what's going on. So it's starting on one. Stage. Come on. Yeah. So Julie, okay, let me zero, yeah, then zero here. So if you check very well, it has this boomerang field like forward and backward, forward and backward, forward and backward. So that's what happens when you mess with your F code. So instead of me copying what's it called? My timeline up and down and doing front and back, front and
Hello?
back, front and back. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we can.
thank you. So instead of doing front and back, you just play with your F codes. Just play with your F codes, that's all. That's all. So yeah, I think I've been able to answer your question, but I won't save this file because I think I'm able to answer the question when it comes to the F code and how to manipulate your codes in your animation, right? And how to get, oh my god, I've done okay, previously is back. So yeah, do we have any questions before we call it a day? Do you have any question? Hello? Any question? Okay. In the absence of questions, I think we can call it a day. All right, I call it a day then. So thank you guys for joining again today. It's been a slow time. Please, for this week, um, I'll need you guys to go fine tune your animations, right? Fine tune the animation and make it into a GIF. I think I'm gonna do mine, right? So next week it's be a battle of animation, fine tuned animation, fine tune your animation, make it a GIF, submit, and the GIF must be a GIF that you can use in your project. Make it boomerang or make it loop any way you want to do it. So fine tune it, and it shouldn't be more than 3 seconds. Are we clear?
Yes, sir, please, you mentioned
Yes.
two things that you use, Adobe Maker something and handwords. I was trying to write it down.
Okay, I use Adobe Encoder,
Oh,
right?
encoder.
Yes, or that's if I'm using my After Effects and all those things. I just export via encoder. I use this thing too. What's it called? Format Factory. Format Factory.
Okay.
I use Format Factory. Yeah, and then sometimes I use Handbrake. Handbrake is free. I think Format Factory too is free. It's free to download. Yeah, those are the software I use. So yeah.
Thank you,
So
sir.
thank you very much, everyone. Um, I'm
Um,
very.
yeah,
Mhm.
good afternoon, sir. Sorry,
Good
before you
afternoon.
go. Yeah, so the reason I actually didn't do my assignment was because I had a bit of an issue in
Who's
Blender.
that? Who's
I
that? Who's talking?
Oh, it's Rebecca. It's Rebecca.
Rebecca, I'm angry at you.
Yes, I had issues. I don't know, my models were not keyframing. I don't know what happened. Bisola and I were trying to do the assignment together, but then I don't know, I tried everything I could, but I just couldn't get it. So I went online, tried to check YouTube videos, articles, but I didn't get anything. That was why I didn't do the assignment.
No good, oh.
Uh,
That's fine.
so yeah. So I will
So
try to. I will see what I can do. Sha. I hope I finally get it so I can submit next week.
you know to see what you can do, oh, do it, oh, do it,
Yes.
oh.
So I even I did VG one time. So I was trying to get it, but I still didn't get it. So I actually tried my best.
No problem.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Thank you. Just trying to function this thing. So you have the perfect loop. Oh, this is not starting on 0. See the issue? Starting on 2. Yeah, that's it. So before you go, this is another place to manipulate your keyframe. If I select my keyframe, I can um I can keyframe where it's going to start here, right? So this is starting at 0. That's the first keyframe, and the last one probably I want you to start at 92 or let's say 95. So we have an issue because of the key value. The key value is 364. So it should be 360. 360, right? 360. So yeah, that's it. 360 at 98. So we have a perfect loop, right? So please, with everything I've shown you in this, make sure that we have perfect loops. Perfect loops. So I only showed you for rotation. I didn't show you for these guys, for the top and bottom. I think I still have 2 minutes. Yeah. I didn't show you for the top and bottom. That's for the position on the y-axis. So just use the same method and explanation to animate these guys, right? And even these guys, and even your clock hand too, right? So that everything will be smooth and you'll be proud to use it in your own animations or your own projects. And then I'm still thinking, I'm still in between, but I think we should do it. I think we will have to enter character animation, basic character animation, simple character modeling and animation. So that and what do you call it? Posing characters so that you can be able to use them for your projects. For example, before I run it, things like this are the things that I would want us to try if we can. Are you trying to ask a question?
No, I was just cheering to what you said.
Oh, you're happy. Thank you. So I was checking with one of my people yesterday, and I won't even lie. So things like this, but this time black characters, not white characters, right? We need to have a plethora of black characters. So yeah, things like this, and they'll be wearing native clothing. It doesn't have to be suit and jackets. Native clothing. Are we fine? All
Yes,
right.
awesome.
All
Yeah, we
right.
are.
So all right then. So thank you guys. See you next week. Same time, same place. Please don't forget to do your task. Don't forget to do your task. All right. Have a blessed day. Bye for now, guys.
Thanks, bye.